Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar, run for the UKV, have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days as we are continuing this warm end to the summer and hopefully warm start to the autumn, as temperatures do look like they will continue to be above average for the foreseeable future. Now today we saw temperatures widely in the mid to high 20s for many southern and eastern areas, and you would have noticed there was quite a humid feel out there today. That humidity has dropped and we are seeing a cooler air mass moving in for the next couple of days, but it could warm or hot up once again into the weekend and start of next working week. Now we'll be able to have a look at that all in detail on the latest UKV, and then look at those longer range prospects on the GFS, GM, ECMWF and the ensembles, because although yes, it looks like it's going to be warm, we're still having potential issues with small scale low pressure systems, cut-off lows that could impact us in the next week or two. Probably wouldn't have a drastic impact on the temperatures, probably would cool down slightly, but what it could do is introduce a lot more cloud, showers, and maybe even some quite severe thunderstorms if we do have that humidity building in. So look at that in more detail in the second half of the video. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. Now if you start on the live radar, you can see it is generally dry this evening, calling this around 10 PM. We do have some showers drifting off into the North Sea, and this is remnants of a cold front that is moving through at the moment. For most now it's just a bit of a cloud with no real rain along it, but it is sweeping the warm humid air that we have had earlier today away. So for Thursday and Friday it will be fresher, probably still temperatures into the low 20s, still got some strong sunshine, and the air masses are still hovering around average, just not quite as warm as it has been the last couple of days, and not as warm as the temperatures into the weekend, as we see a return of that warm air mass. Now, if you look at the temperatures this evening, you see still warm and humid in the east, but that cold front is sweeping through, and it will introduce some much fresher air for all, as I said, over the next day or so. Now, if you look at the top temperatures today, you can see widely 27 to 29 degrees, so pretty much what we expected. We expected 28 degrees, and I said quite likely we peaked at 29, and that's what we've seen in Northolt. We have seen here, if you notice, a 30 degree at Lakenheath Royal Air Force Base. Now, I do think this is an anomaly, probably an overread. Not only is it isolated by itself with only Northolt just nudging 29 degrees, but it also occurred at midday, which is highly unlikely this time of year to produce the top temperature of the day. If this was at 3 p.m, 3 p.m, then maybe we could have seen a bit of microclimate taking over here, but being midday, highly unlikely, and I do think that one should kind of be ignored. So 27 to 29 is what the max temperature was today. Much cooler, as I said, into tomorrow, into Thursday. That is, some of you probably will be watching this on Thursday, so much cooler through Thursday, but still not too bad. Now, if you go over to the latest UKV, you can see through Wednesday evening, we see the remnants of that weather front clearing away, and into Thursday, we do have another generally dry day, sunny, a few showers dotted around, and it looks pretty decent and pleasant once again. Temperatures, as I said, will be cooler, but still will be pretty nice. And then as we head into Friday, we do see again similar conditions, not too bad, but notice the change in the wind direction. We see some cloud drifting up from the southeast, and that's that warm humid air making a return for the weekend, where temperatures could get it back into the mid to high 20s for some. Now as we head into Saturday, still looking pretty dry and pretty warm and pleasant even into the afternoon. A few heavy thundery showers could pop up, and quite a lot of high-level cloud coming into southern areas. And again, that's because of that increased humidity. As we head through Saturday into Sunday, though, a few heavy thundery showers could pop off, and a further line of thundery showers could break out through Sunday morning. That's something we need to keep a very close eye on, as there is high-level uncertainty with this, but a small trough develops and severe thunderstorms take off within the very hot and humid air. So again, have to keep a very close eye on that system. And then into Sunday, those thunderstorms do clear to our north, and it stays warm and humid. And then into Monday, again, still warm and humid. Fresher air trying to nudge in, but we're still in this warm, humid and muggy air mass. So although, yes, temperatures, as we'll see in a minute, aren't exceptional, because it is early September, it is going to feel very warm out there. Now, if you look at the upper air temperatures, you can see the warm air is getting wafted away at the moment. Over the next couple of days, temperatures still hovering around average in the upper air levels, so not too bad, but if we're being honest, not great either. Not as warm as it has been recently. As we head into Friday, those temperatures start to slowly nudge up from the south, but really that warm air embeds itself back in for Saturday afternoon. Upper air temperatures touching the low teens in the south, and then into Sunday when we see those thunderstorms moving in, some very warm air, maybe the high teens at 850 HPA pushing in. Again, if that became kind of embedded towards our shores, temperatures could even nudge towards 30 degrees next week. And you can see it remained all the way into Monday, again looking well above average, all the way into the start of the next working week. And you can see at the mean sea level pressure that we do generally have high pressure and control, especially out to our east. But as we head through Sunday morning, you can see small scale low pressure systems developing in that far southeast corner. You can see that just the kink in the isobars does allow these small scale low pressure systems to develop, and you can see it's a little bit more succinct there out in the North Sea, and again those could pose issues over the next week or so, developing more heavy showers and thunderstorms. Do you look at the max temperatures as we head into Thursday? We see those temperatures peaking around the 22 or 23, maybe even a 24, so actually not too bad. A few degrees cooler, yes, but not too bad. As we head into Friday, temperatures could peak again, 23, 24, pretty decent, nothing bad, but not quite as warm as it has been recently. Into Saturday, temperatures nudging again towards 23, 24, but it's more widely into the 20s. That humid air starts to move in. And then for Sunday, we start to see the temperatures maybe 27, 28 in the far southeast. Again, it will be all dependent on cloud amount and thunderstorms. I think the biggest restriction in temperatures here at the surface are the thicker cloud amounts because of the humidity. And then as we head into Monday, again, more widely mid to high 20s. So really see it's attached that southeast corner, because this time of year, as we head into early September, the sun strength does start to decrease. So we see a much, much stronger correlation between those upper air temperatures and surface temperatures. It always has a correlation, but during midsummer, during kind of June, July time, anywhere that has a moderately warm air mass will feel pretty hot and can see those temperatures rise quite substantially with the sun strength. But into early September, that sun strength isn't as strong as it is earlier in the year. And again, we have shorter days, so we see much stronger correlation with the upper air temperatures compared to the surface temperatures, whereas it's a little bit more detached during the middle of the summer because of that sun strength. So you can really see those temperatures getting squeezed in that southeast corner, really quite warm and muggy indeed. And we can see how muggy it is by looking at the dew points. Again, it's not ridiculous. We've seen higher dew points over our shores, and I think we've even seen higher dew points this summer, but these are getting towards the higher dew points, highest dew points that we've seen in the summer, and this again is happening in early September. So your dew points getting up towards 20 degrees, so feeling really quite muggy indeed. And again, if we have a look at the relative humidity, again touching high 90s or even 100% at times into next week. Again, it will oscillate, but potentially very muggy indeed. So yeah, even though those temperatures don't look exceptional, it could feel pretty oppressive as we head into next week. Now, if you look at the longer range charts, we'll have a look at the latest GFS. You see the southerly winds getting pushed away over the next couple of days with the westerly flow, but still generally staying under higher pressure, so it won't be too bad. High pressure rebuilds in for Sunday, and then you start to see those warmer air masses wafting in again. But GFS, unfortunately, does develop a little bit of a small scale low pressure system, and that will turn it slightly fresher and slightly more unsettled. Now, it doesn't last too long, and actually as we head into the end of next working week, we see the very hot air return, but again we could see some small scale low pressure systems developing, and then right towards the end of the one we do see high pressure building in. So GFS isn't terrible, but it's not anywhere near as good as it was showing yesterday, and it's nowhere near as good as the other runs we'll look at this evening in today's video, as we do have quite a lot more oscillating in those upper air temperatures, and And we do have a little bit more in terms of low pressure around, which as I said could develop rain and thunderstorms. Now, do compare to the GEM, which I must say is probably one of the pick of the bunch of the runs this evening. You can see again we do start to see high pressure building in once again for the weekend, wafting in those southerly or southeasterly winds. Low pressure doesn't really push in, could see some weak weather fronts, but nothing too crazy. Stays warm all the way into the middle of the week, and then we see high pressure properly topple over the top within the very warm air. If we look at the pressure level, very strong air of high pressure all the way sat over the top of us. And if we do zoom into those temperatures at the surface, we are looking pretty good indeed. Again, temperatures not exceptional, as the upper air temperatures aren't, out of this world, but widely low to mid 20s, which I'm not going to lie, we cannot argue with as we head into early September. Not 30 degrees like we did see last September. Again, that was pretty exceptional, but pretty decent indeed. Again, as we head into September, the chances of wet, windy weather, temperatures in the mid-teens, low teens, becomes much, much more likely. So seeing consistent 20 to 25 degrees isn't too bad at all. And of course, it could be higher than that, depending on those upper air temperatures. And if you look at the ECMWF, just to finish off again, slightly cooler air mass moving in this end of this week. Hot, dry air returns for the weekend. Again, could see that pesky low towards the Republic of Ireland here into early next week. And eventually that could move in a little bit stronger into the end of the week and get reinforcements. And yeah, we do remain very warm, but unfortunately, as I said, low pressure is kind of sat around. So it's quite a big contrast to GM, which finishes with high pressure slap bang over the top of us. Here, low pressure slap bang over the top of us with heavy showers and thunderstorms. So yeah, the same kind of story as yesterday. It's looking warm. We're looking like we're going to have a lot of high pressure around, but it's all about these small-scale low-pressure systems. Where will they sit? Where will they develop? And how significant will they be? Again, a small little trough could give an evening of thunderstorms, an afternoon of thunderstorms. But something like this, which is a well-developed low-pressure system, would give days of showers and thunderstorms. So we've got all of that to decipher over the coming days. But overall, it doesn't look too bad to start September. And there are encouraging signs that it could be very warm and potentially very dry. As I said, lots of caveats still to determine at this stage. Now, to finish by looking at the latest ensembles, the latest GFS, you can see dropping temperatures at the moment, rising again into the weekend, maybe a slight drop again for the start of, or for the middle of next week. Again, deviation with that, but again, that will likely be due to small-scale low-pressure system developing, and then a warm-up again into the following weekend. So lots of up and down. As we can clearly see, it's generally average to above average, so that warm trend is continuing. It's just how warm and how dry will it be? And finally, if we compare it to the ECMWF ensembles, which have come out, and you can see it is very similar. Drop at the moment, big rise into the weekend and start of next week, slight drop into the middle to second half of next week, and then generally staying above average. But it's how much above average will it be? That is what we've got to determine. You can see though precipitation does pick up quite a bit more. So yeah, ECMWF probably a little bit more on board with more low pressure around. So still saying warm, but could be pretty thundery, and unfortunately that warmth will probably fuel the low pressure systems and fuel those thunderstorms, so could kind of be a bit of a double whammy. If we saw fresher air masses, probably wouldn't see as much rain, but we'll have to wait and see exactly how it does play out. We are consistently seeing chopping and changing from these runs, so I wouldn't be surprised if we suddenly saw them going very dry, but equally I wouldn't be surprised if low pressure completely dominated as well. We'll have to wait and see, but still trends of something warmer to start September. It does continue, and at least into early next week and through this weekend, it is looking pretty stunning indeed. That's the only thing we can kind of definitively say is kind of the next 4 or 5 days where it is looking pretty dry, and it is looking especially warm and humid into the weekend and start of next week. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.